elsewhere today, the big supermarket chains have together bitten the bullet and insisted all staff be vaccinated.
Yeah, so it worked out today that the big supermarkets, so we're talking here Woolworths, Coles and Aldi, and their sort of, if you like, ancillary businesses, they represent around one worker in every 50 in Australia. Woolworths came out today and said it wants all of its staff vaccinated. Same thing with Coles and Aldi. But there's one interesting part about this, and that is the union, the SDA, that's responsible for most of the retail workers, will support the proposition of getting people vaccinated. They just want to make certain that those people who choose not to be vaccinated have valid reasons and the companies have good processes in place. But in the meantime, Brad Banducci, the boss of Woolworths, has been out with a fairly blunt message for his workers and vaccination.
If they do not have a valid reason, we will engage with them, make sure they get the best possible advice and availability to vaccines. But if they don't have a valid religious or medical exemption, their employment at Woolworths will be terminated.
Yeah, and just on that subject, Kieran, also I do note that Qantas and Alan Joyce, its chief executive, have a 7:15 a.m. press conference tomorrow morning. There's a lot of speculation what that might be about. Of course, right now, if you're travelling internationally, you need to be fully vaccinated. I just wonder whether this might be the time that they start to do the same thing locally as well.
Yeah, it's a good question. It looks like it's happening right across the board at the moment. Now, just finally, this other story that you and I have been talking about the last few weeks, the Chinese property developer Evergrande, that giant company, shares have resumed trading in Hong Kong.
Yeah, so they haven't been trading for about the past, 2 or 3 weeks or something of that nature because of the troubles of the company. So today, when they resumed trading in Hong Kong, they immediately fell by 10%. Now, they rallied at one stage, were down by about 5%. But even as we speak now, they're down, you can see here, by 11.5%. Now, the problem of Evergrande is the largest property developer in China with almost $400 billion worth of debt. If it collapses, it takes with it the wealth of a lot of Chinese people and probably a lot of reputation. It will also cause problems in China's banking system. Today, the company, ahead of putting out its resumption of trading on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, put a couple of statements out. Number one, it was trying to sell its property management business. It said there's been no material progress on the sale of assets of the group. That was $5 billion or so that could have been used for payments. It also said, in view of the difficulties, challenges and uncertainties in improving its liquidity, there is no guarantee at this stage that Evergrande is going to be able to meet its financial obligations under the relevant financing documents. In other words, when payments come due in the next week or so, there is no guarantee that Evergrande is going to have the money. So the prospect of collapse of Evergrande, unless Chinese government steps in, is still present today as it's been in the past. However, stock markets have held their nerve. They haven't fallen apart as they did a couple of weeks ago. So it gives you some sense that the markets believe that China will bail Evergrande out.